Although you are watching this channel and you're here, and I love that for you, I want you guys to get to the implementation part of entrepreneurship. One mistake that I made as an entrepreneur when I first got started is I was a sponge. Baby, if you had a podcast, I was listening. If you had a book, I was reading it. If you had the things, if you had a workbook, journal, I was buying it, okay? I've been in business for 18 years and I've learned quite a bit. But one thing I would say a mistake now is I used to be a sponge and I had to come to a place of myself with implementation. Hey you guys, how you doing? How's your mother, brother, sister, cousin doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive right in. Look, we're here for a good time, not a long time, okay? And today I want to ask you, what kind of leader are you? I had alluded in the other videos, and I hope that these are like building blocks for you as you're going and trucking along in your entrepreneurship journey. And this is just adding on to all the goodness and your resources that you have. But today I want to dive into what kind of leader are you? I think that we lean into our strengths. It makes sense, right? And I think there's something to be said about leaning into those things, but also identifying and holding space for things that don't come with ease about you, right? But first, we have to distinguish what kind of leader we are, right? So I read a book called The Eight Dimensions of Leadership before the pandemic. And actually, I feel like I need to pull that book out again because it had some really good think pieces. I'm going to put the link for the book in the description box. So if you want to check it out and you want to read it for yourself, it's a great book for entrepreneurs, no matter where you are in your journey. If you are a person of a growth mindset and if you're in entrepreneurship, I hope that that is you, that you are seeking to, tap into resources and implement. Let me go on a tangent for a second. Although you are watching this channel and you're here, and I love that for you, I want you guys to get to the implementation part of entrepreneurship. One mistake that I made as an entrepreneur when I first got started is I was a sponge. Baby, if you had a podcast, I was listening. If you had a book, I was reading it. If you had the things, if you had a workbook, journal, I was buying it, okay? And then now as I am listen, my business turned 18 years old this month. That is crazy to me. I've been in business for 18 years and I've learned quite a bit. But one thing I would say a mistake now is I used to be a sponge and I had to come to a place of myself with implementation. I think knowing that about myself and stopping helped me also grow in my business. You are not you are doing yourself a disservice if you don't implement the things that you learn, because the other part of that, and maybe also a mistake, is you putting the people you follow, that you listen to, on a pedestal. And although I don't even want to say aspire, we're encouraged, we are motivated by watching the Eric Thomases of the world and the David Shans and the Donnie Wiggins and the Marcus, I forgot what Mr. Marcus's last name is, but all the people, right? They are great leaders, right? They have think pieces, they actually, motivate, help us, they create community, right? But I don't want you to get caught up in just the listening part. Entrepreneurship is actually the doing part. And not enough of us, for me, are doing the doing part. We are regurgitating things that we've heard. We are imitating people who we see, and you need to find your own lane and be innovative and figure out what that looks like, right? So let's go over the 8 different leaderships that the book actually goes over. I'm not going to tell you what they are. I'm just going to what in depth and what they are, but I'm going to tell you like what the names of them are. And when you hear the names of them, you're going to be like, oh, I get it. Okay. So the first one is pioneering. The second one is the energizing leader, affirming, inclusive, humble, deliberate, resolve, and commanding, right? So what kind of leader are you? It kind of reminds me of like the DISC assessment, like what kind of person you are, how do you show up in the world? And I'm like a test fiend. I love taking tests and assessing where I am. I like retaking them at the beginning and the end of the year, because the other part is, like we talked about earlier, having a growth mindset is um, reassessing where you are and how you're growing, right? That is the attainable part of measuring where you are and where you've been and how you want to move forward, right? And also kind of low key, highlights like if you haven't done any growth. I mean, if we can be totally honest, a lot of us as entrepreneurs go through a growth spurt, a growth season, and it hurts. And some of us take longer to be in the stage that we're in because we don't want to learn the new thing, or we don't want to explore the new thing, or we don't want to have to get uncomfortable. And I say, if in entrepreneurship, the best position to put yourself in, the best posture to have, is to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because entrepreneurship is going to grow you in a way that no other experience really does it for you, right? And in the next video, I'm going to go a little bit deeper about what that actually means. So, what kind of leader are you, right? Are you someone who gives leniency, someone who sees an opportunity for everybody? Are you someone who's like A type and you don't understand why they don't understand why they need to do the thing, right? And it's very telling how you lead and how the people you surround yourself move as well. And if anything, it's good to have a maybe comprehensive collective, right? So if you're someone who's a type A, it's probably good to get a visionary, someone who is very deliberate, somebody who is commanding. Or maybe if you're an introverted entrepreneur, right? Maybe it's good for you to get a pioneering co-leader or a virtual assistant, right? As you're building your team, you need to figure out what kind of leader you are so you can put the pieces together on who needs to be on your team and making a cohesive group of you guys collectively together. And listen, chef's kiss. Everybody on my team, they come with different talents and different opportunities and different visions. And the great thing about my team is I have the vision. I know what I want, but sometimes I don't know how to quantify it or the logistics of it. But I tell the team what it is that I want. And for some reason, they're like, oh, we're going to do this, 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 and this. And I'm like, yep, that's what we're going to do. And then when we get to the end goal and to the end product, I'm just like, you guys have blown my mind 10 times better than I could ever expect it in life. And I appreciate them, right? The other thing too is, and let's pause for a second to think about this too. Don't grow too big. There's another caveat. I think sometimes when we're like, okay, if I'm not good at this, then I need to outsource it. Love that for you, because we did in a video not too long ago quantify how much you are worth in your time, right? And how much it actually costs for you to outsource something. But the other piece of that is you need to know what you're asking for, because you don't want to be wasting time. And I know that a lot of entrepreneurs, what we do is we outsource something because we don't understand, but you still need to have a comprehensive understanding of what it does, right? So maybe you outsourced your bookkeeping, right? You don't need to know the like how to get to the numbers, but you do need to know like, oh, I need a profit and loss sheet at the end of each month. Oh, I need to read my numbers every month. I need to get a CFO. I need to connect the dots of my P&L with my analytics and being able to comprehensively analyze if my marketing is being efficient and drawing the kind of results that I'm looking for, right? So in doing that, it's very important to also assessing who the team member is and what they bring to the table, and if they complement the team as a whole, right? So as you're trying to build out your team, you need to also make sure that you're quantifying what you're asking for. And then also, as you're putting your team together, not to grow too fast or too big. Don't go out thinking like, oh, now I'm going to hire 5 people on the spot. Well, the question is, do you need 5 people? And then what are these 5 people bringing in together? As a bonus, now that I'm thinking about it, we always talk about who's your target market. I'm going to put a sheet down, free PDF, or actually I'm going to give you a link to get to it. I do an avatar about hiring people. So this can work for either a contractor or an employee, right? And doing a employee contractor avatar and what you're asking for them, what's the benefits you're bringing to the table, what you're offering, and all of those things too. So kind of the flip side of not just targeting your customer, but now targeting who you need to add to your team. I'm also going to put a link to the test to figure out what kind of leader you are that I used when I read the book. I thought it was just so helpful. And actually, I think I might need to take it again. And I'll make an Instagram post when I post this video and tell you what kind of leader I am. And I'd be interested to know what kind of leader you are. Okay. All right, on to church announcements. Church announcements, church announcements. I feel like I should have playing music or something. But church announcements. If you haven't heard, and I say it on every video, I'm a business coach. I am a fractional CFO in Financial Fancy, the business that I created and own. And I want to invite you to the Financial Fancy tribe, right, over at TTC Academy. It's $24.99 a month, and what we do there is we do all things entrepreneurship, right? So I'm keeping you in compliance with what's coming down the pipeline with the IRS and the state. And then I'm also just creating a community of entrepreneurs who are looking to scale, grow, and learn how to make money on demand. Because I'm a fractional CFO, I know how to read numbers in a way and your analytics in a way to help you figure out, like, if you sent an email today and you have 100 people on your email list, we should be like, okay, I should make $20 every time I send an email list that has an offering in it. I want you to get to that space in your entrepreneurship journey. If that's something that you're interested in, there's going to be a link below once you click on it. And then if you have any other further questions, there will be contact information. I'd highly encourage you to follow track underscore those underscore coins academy on Instagram. I do a lot of videos over there, so you can get like a sneak peek or like a preview of what you can anticipate to come if you're in TTC Academy. And we would just love to have you over there. So I got 2 things for you. I'm rooting for your win, and I hope that you have the best day ever. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.